Hello and welcome to another battle report. This one is actually from the Renegade Open Rogue Trader Tournament, Day 2. This is the last game of the day, and it was against a clubmate of mine, so he didn't mind that I recorded it. Shooting all the video actually only added about 4 minutes to the length of the game, which I thought was pretty decent. I won the right to deploy first and go first. He played a gambit, deployed only a venom and 5 warriors on the table, and dared me to try to kill them on turn 1. The idea of that was that if he did lose automatically, we would spend the rest of the day drinking. But otherwise, he kept everything in reserves, and I had deployed 4 wave serpents. The one that usually carries the fire dragons was empty, but the autarch was in the black wave serpent way up at the top there. I also had a pair of hornets deployed in a corner, and I was planning to make their scout move where I should be able to get an angle on the venom after the beginning of turn 1. His list is sort of really similar to mine, just from the Dark Eldar side. He allied in a Farseer, some fire dragons, 2 units of Dire Avengers in wave serpents, and a Wraith Knight. And the rest of his list was a flyer, a couple of raiders, venom with incubi in it, a succubus, and that's pretty much it. Alright, here we are at the top of turn 1. Having failed to seize the initiative, I made my scout move, shot at the venom, and I wrecked it, but I didn't blow it up. So his warriors did not run off the table. I scored a couple points toward the secondary, and that was it. The bottom of turn 1 was less eventful than the top was. His Maelstrom objective was to hold his objective, which was there at the top of that hill, so he moved the warriors up there to hold it to gain a point toward the secondary. Right, here we are at the top of turn 2, and this is where the game really started. I had the Warlord trait that allowed me to re-roll my reserve rolls, and I used it to keep everything off the table so that I could wait until after he brought his stuff in and then come in and hit it instead of him hitting me. In other news, I killed off all the warriors, and so if his reserves had not come in, the game would again have been over right there. Right, here we are at the bottom of turn 2. After this turn was over, I was pretty confident that I would end up winning the game because his Alpha Strike failed to accomplish any of his goals. One of his goals was to take out the Wraith Knight. It survived with a single wound, and his goals were to take out either of those 2 wave serpents, and possibly both of them. He forced them both to jink, but he left one with 1 hull point and one with 2 hull points. So overall, like incredibly unsuccessful. If his plane had come in, or if his Wraith Knight had come in, he would certainly have been able to finish them off. Over there, the Scourges and the Wave Serpent, another bit of just total bad luck for him. Between the 2 of them, they failed to kill the Hornets sitting over there in the corner. So it's the top of turn 3, and now that his reserves are on the table, it's time to bring mine on. Bring on the Hornets there. The Warp Spiders drop on the left side of the ruin over there. Between everything around here, I managed to wreck both raiders and kill the command unit with the fire dragons and the Farseer in it. My fire dragons dropped in a corner back there and wrecked the wave serpent, and then my other wave serpents hopped up onto the hill to the left, and they're the ones that glanced that wave serpent to death. So my Alpha Strike turn was far superior to his, taking out both of his raiders, both of his wave serpents in a single go with the command squad, with the succubus, Farseer, etc. So here we are at the bottom of turn 3. It doesn't look like much happened or much moved. The warriors didn't have much of a target. I think it was actually them that took out the Wraith Knight. The Warp Spiders actually came out of the ruin, shot at my Warp Spiders, and then assaulted them, and then hit and ran, and actually ended up in almost exactly the same spot that they were, and my consolidation move took me into the ruin as well. The Incubi disembarked from their venom and assaulted the fire dragons, and the sergeant, or the leader of the Incubi, that model, like that individual model, is actually really powerful in close combat. In other news, the flyer that came in completely decimated my my Autarch and the Dire Avengers that were with him. I'm pretty impressed with that flyer. Like I like it. Those large blasts, pretty powerful. Also, the Scourges managed to finally glance one of the Hornets to death. I should have also mentioned about turn 3 that his Wraith Knight didn't come in again, which again made a significant difference in the outcome of his turn. For my part, I cleared out the Warp Spiders and the Warriors on my side of the board. That Incubi model right there, like single-handedly wiped out the rest of the Fire Dragons and the Archon. It took way more shooting than I thought it would to get the Warp Spiders and the Warriors taken care of, but I still had enough left over to shoot at the Flyer and give it a shaken result. So it's the bottom of turn 4, and I have the game pretty well in hand. There are some details to take care of. The Wraith Knight finally comes in, promptly shoots a Hornet and kills it. This Incubi dude assaults the Venom that still has my Warriors in it, and fails to even get a glance. The Scourge track down that last Hornet from the squadron there and take care of it. And he, in order to get a point for the secondary, he went flat out with his Venom to put it in my deployment zone. This is the top of turn 5, and I have the luxury of putting Wave Serpents that aren't even missing hull points on the Crusade objectives, the one in the middle of the board and the one on his side of the board. I think there were 3 Dire Avengers left alive. The Venom moved over to shoot at them. I took pot shots at his Wraith Knight, but didn't do much, but I did take out the Venom with little difficulty. Here we are at the bottom of turn 5. Some silliness ensues. His Flyer comes back on, shoots everything at the Warp Spiders. I think he manages to only kill 1. His Wraith Knight shoots at the Venom, which jinxed successfully, but I think then he stuns it. And then he jumps down, hits it automatically, and doesn't even manage to blow it up. I think I made like 3 or 4 invulnerable saves against that, and so the fearless Warriors just hop right out. He also had his Dire Avengers assault my Wave Serpent there, but he did not do anything to it with his plasma grenades. We roll to see if the game continues, and it does. Unfortunately, or even more unfortunately for him, I kill his remaining Dire Avengers. I think 3 of my Wave Serpents, and I think a Hornet over on the right there, shoot at his Flyer and take it out, leaving him with only his Wraith Knight on the table. So here we are at the bottom of turn 6, and what turns out to be the end of the game. He tried to shoot the Wave Serpent first, and then and hopefully be able to assault the Dire Avengers, but I made my Jinx saves, and the shield was up anyway. And then in the assault, he didn't even blow it up. He just wrecked it, and so the Dire Avengers disembarked, and that was that. It's a victory for my side, 10-1. The 1 point being Slay the Warlord for him.